Welcome to Inspired Vinyasa. My name is Sandra, and I'd love for you to just sit on down in whatever pose makes you happy, and then close your eyes. And before we do anything else, I want you to scan through the body. Notice if we have any issues speaking up today. And remember, we don't have to solve those issues. We're just acknowledging them so we can practice safely on the mat. In fact, there's going to be a couple of variations that I will explain because there are a couple poses I don't do. I just know my body, and so that's okay. And I want you to feel safe as well in not doing any poses that aren't right for you as well. So once you have scanned through the body, you've noticed maybe where you feel tight, where you need to stretch it out today, what might be going beyond tightness into pain. Acknowledge all those areas. And then let's take a deep breath. Cleansing exhale. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the heart in prayer pose and close your eyes. Remember, as you send your intention out into the universe, make sure it's worded positively. And it doesn't always have to be just about what's going on your mat. So, if you need positive vibes later on in the day or in the week, or someone close to you could use some extra energy, you can include them as well. When you're ready, go ahead, release the hands to gently cup the knees, and then find your seated cat-cow. So remember, that's inhale, sit up. Exhale, slowly round it out on the exhale. And you can hold if one of those feels better than the other. So I found this quote this morning online, and it really went along with the theme of the class, my intention for the class, the sequence, as well as the lesson. The quote is, "Pain doesn't just show up in our lives for no reason. It's a sign that something in our lives needs to change." And I was kind of already thinking along those lines because my back has really been off for longer than I care to recognize. Past week, it's been acting up. And I thought about that. What that represents, symbolizes, what in my world needs to change. Because remember, physical pain manifests from an energy imbalance, which I'm sure we're all facing still during this period in our life. But that was apropos because I'd already been thinking about how was I going to kind of accommodate this particular vinyasa to meet my needs and yours, especially if your back is feeling fine and it's like, yes, let's go. And so I guess the takeaway is accommodate what you need to, do what you need to do, and be happy about whatever happens on the mat. So next time you're sitting up, I want you to take that left arm up and side bend to the right. Play around here, add some movement. So taking that quote apart just a little bit, how do we know what needs to change energetically to accommodate and relinquish the physical pain? And actually, that isn't quite as difficult as it sounds, right? Your physical pain is going to correlate to a chakra, one or two, probably. Go ahead and make your way back up, switch the arms. Take it to the other side. And so all you need to do is, well, A, you could email me, or B, you could Google, my favorite, hangout place. Just Google which chakra correlates to whatever it is, knee pain, back pain, neck pain. And then you'll start to come up with different sites telling you, well, okay, neck pain, that's most likely the throat chakra. Okay, so how do we work with balancing the throat chakra? What does it mean energetically? Then you can start to see how you might implement change, right? For example, throat chakra communication. So that would imply to me that communication is maybe not as open as it should be, or you're not hearing something. So get online and Google it so you can start figuring out where the physical pain is actually coming from. All right, come on back up to center. Inhale both arms. Exhale to the heart. And close your eyes for a moment. So I think a lot of people have been maybe a little less active than usual, especially with all the gyms that have closed, and perhaps haven't found a way to get active in a creative way. So I'm guessing I'm not the only one out there who's had some back pain. So the sequence is going to focus on strengthening the back and alleviating that kind of pain. But yeah, we'll add some other stuff in as well, of course. Go ahead and open your eyes. I want you to come on down onto your back and then hug the knees into the heart. Apanasana. So frankly, when you get into this pose, if you are just holding on to the knees and they're as far away from you as they can be, and there's an arch in your spine, you really aren't doing anything to accommodate the back. You need to pull that low back down, hug the knees in as close as you can. In fact, you might feel like you want to lift the head and shoulders. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're rounding out the low back, and the low back is not doing anything here. It doesn't have to work. It's just feeling like it's supported by the mat and the earth. Couple more breaths. And then slowly roll back down. I'm going to set the left foot down on the mat and hug that right knee in just a little bit more. When you get to an inhale, stretch that right leg up to the ceiling, interlace the fingers behind the leg. And then let's draw that leg in a little bit closer. So since we are talking about back pain, I'm going to keep the left leg bent. That accommodates the low back and helping it push down against the earth. If your back's totally fine and you want more stretch, go ahead and send that leg out. So this is what I mean about creating variations for yourself and deciding what might be right for you. So as I rebend the right leg, I'm going to let it come across my left leg. So if you straighten that leg out, let's rebend it. And as though you were maybe sitting on a couch and you're just crossing your legs. So I've got my thighs as close together as I possibly can get them. And then I'm going to bring both knees in. And let's call this option A. It kind of looks like Gomukhasana legs with one knee over the other, feet going kind of in different directions. And you can accentuate that if you want to. You could grab onto both feet and draw the legs in towards you a little bit. So option A would look like Gomukhasana. Option B, maybe we take the legs into eagle, Garudasana. And so all I did was I elevated my left foot so I have room to get the right foot to tuck underneath, and the legs wrap around. Maybe. The intention is the legs wrap around. They might not actually do that. So that's okay. If you wanted to go toward eagle, but the legs aren't cooperating, you could take the right foot and just push it against the outer left leg, right? So lots of ideas here. You don't even have to do any of that. If you just wanted to cross the leg over and hang out, that's okay, as long as you're pulling the low back down, so something's going on here to help the back. So wherever you're at, let's close our eyes, take a few breaths. Perfect. So if you're in eagle, let's unwrap that first bind with the foot. If you're in cow face, let go of the feet, let them come closer towards each other. And then I'm just going to interlace the fingers, take my hands behind my head. I'm slowly going to drop the legs to my left side. So this is going to be a twist. If it's too much of a twist, especially since we're talking about back issues, let's not keep the legs wrapped up like that. Let's set the left foot down and then slowly come into a twist. So it's up to you. You could always put a prop underneath your legs. That will help as well. Right shoulders down. Let's keep the gaze straight up towards the ceiling. And just close your eyes, deepening the breath. I suppose while we're hanging out here, I have plenty of time to chat your ear off. So maybe instead of making you go Google everything, I can quickly go through the chakras for you. Any pain in the feet, ankles, knees, thighs, coming up the legs is root chakra. Root chakra is imbalances are usually based in fear and lack of security. Something is throwing off your sense of safety. Take a deep breath here. Now, if you've got your legs still kind of, folded over each other, let's undo that. So the right leg is now on top of the left. And maybe that's where you were anyway, so you're a step ahead of me. It's all good. And then I'm going to open up the right knee first, put the right foot on the ground, and then bring the left knee in. So that helps out the back. So the back isn't the one doing the work to pull us back to center. Okay. Relax the arms. Go ahead and hug that left knee in. Keep the right knee bent if you are dealing with any back issues. If you want more, stretch that leg out. And then we're taking that left leg up to the ceiling. Breathe into the stretch. Don't mistake, if this hamstring feels super tight and it's kind of ouch, not sure where to go with this, don't mistake that for pain that has manifested from the root chakra. That's just a tight hamstring, right? We're talking about pain that's, while you're not stretching, well, maybe you're not even moving, you're just sitting on the couch, or it's chronic pain or something that won't go away. Now, as I release my hands from behind that leg, remember, I want to bend the left leg and let it cross over the right thigh. And here's where you get to make some decisions for yourself. Right foot leaves the ground. You might hang out right here. You might grab onto each foot, take the legs into a supine Gomukhasana or eagle Garudasana. Totally up to you. And then again, interlace the fingers, take them behind the head. And then you decide how you're coming into that twist. So I'm going to scooch over a little so I don't hit the wall. If you need a prop to catch you, go ahead and use one. Keep that left shoulder blade down. Close your eyes, deepen the breath. So as we work our way up the body, any hip pain, low back pain, sacrum, tailbone, anything between the hips, that's all second chakra, sacral. Usually that has to do with sensuality, sexuality, creativity. As you make your way up, any digestion issues or more like mid-back issues, that's solar plexus. That, relates to the chakra that's just a few fingers above the belly button. That is self-esteem and control. And control, think about how everything right now seems out of our control, which of course it is, but that could set off pains in that area of the body. Okay, when you're ready, unravel the legs if they are caught around each other. Open up that left leg first, let the left foot down, bend the right foot, realign the hips, release the arms, Apanasana, hug the knees in, lift the head and shoulders. Perfect. And then let's rock our way back up to a seated position and flip on over into table, hands and knees. Cat-cow, it just has to be the best yoga transition for back issues. Hands down, when someone tells me they're having back problems, that's exactly where I send them first, to find the earth and do cat-cow. So as you inhale, cow, sink the belly, lift the heart, lift the chin. Exhale, round it out. Keep going. One more. And then come back to a neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, which is a great stretch for almost every area of the body. Deep inhale, loud exhale. Come on forward into plank when you're ready. Let's take a vinyasa right here. Perfect. From dog, go ahead, bring the knees back down to the earth. And then take the legs right next to each other. Push back into embryo. So the legs stay together, forehead to the earth, hands reach back. We're going to take a few breaths here. And then take the backs of the hands to the sacrum. So just underneath the low back. You can allow one hand to grab onto the other if you want to. And then engage your core. Inhale, come slowly all the way up onto the knees. Exhale, all the way back down. Keep going. Don't wait for me to tell you to move. I don't want you holding your breath. One more. Excuse me, I took too deep of a breath and I was going to start talking at the same time. When you come all the way down, sweep the hands forward and then come back up into table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good job. Vinyasa here. Plank, chaturanga, cobra, back to dog. Deep inhale, loud exhale. Perfect. Bring the knees back down to the earth. Step the right foot forward between the hands and come on up. So half warrior A. You can let the hands rest on that front thigh for a moment, or if you want to, take them to your hips. Now take the shoulders up, roll them back and down. Let's try to keep the shoulder blades right there. Drop the arms. Left arm forward, Right arm back as you open up the shoulder and the heart. So my hips did not turn with me. My hips are still facing forward towards that right knee. It's just the upper body that took that gentle twist. Option A, stay right here. Option B, left arm up, right arm down. And notice I didn't really add much here, a little tipping back. Option C, if you want to slowly drop forward into more of a lunge, you can. You could add more of a back bend, but listen to your body, decide what you feel like doing. Breathe. Good job. If you came into the lunge, let's slowly bring the hips back. Take both arms up. Release them to the earth. Step back to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine, left foot stepping forward. Find your balance. Come on up. Make sure the hips are facing forward. Keep them there. Drop the arms. Shoulders up and then back and down so we can keep the shoulders hanging, weighted. Perfect. Right arm forward. Left arm back. Don't let the hips go with you. Option A is right here. Option B, right arm up, left arm down. Option C, you can add that lunge and more of a back bend if you want to. Slowly come out of the lunge. Both arms up. Exhale to the earth. Come back to table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Fabulous. From here, walk the feet forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Play around in your fold for a moment. Rising, lowering, maybe you're shifting the weight around. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, release. Bend into the knees, roll your way up. Perfect. Inhale, both arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. Turn the fingertips to the earth. So I want you to bend slightly into the knees as we roll our way down into our fold. Once I get about here, I'm going to take my hands to the outside of my thighs. And as I come down, my hands are just gently pushing my legs together. And then hands to the earth. Inhale, monkey. Exhale. Now, the right foot is stepping back for warrior A. So I told you I'm going to make some variations and adjustments. I don't do warrior A. It's not good for my ankles. I will suffer greatly later. But I want you to be able to do it. So the back foot is flat at 45 degrees. And then come on up. Try to keep the hips, they're not open like warrior B, but you don't have to square them to the front. So what I do instead of warrior A, I'm going to stay in a high lunge, keeping my heel up above the ball of the foot. And if that's better for your ankle too, then go ahead and join me. Does that make sense? Okay, so just for the demonstration's sake, you're in warrior A. Let's take the arms up. Breathe. The reason you don't square the hips forward in warrior A is because that's not natural for the back knee. So do not worry about hips facing forward completely. Breathe. Now we're going to open this into warrior B, which is totally fine with my ankles. So you just got to listen. Perfect. Reverse warrior right here. Sink this deeper. Warrior B, let's straighten out that front leg for a moment. Reach out of the right hip, hold it right here. Now, if you do have back issues that have morphed into sciatic issues, triangle is a fabulous pose for sciatic, and that's where we're heading. Breathe. So we started out first by lengthening out of that top hip, drop the bottom arm, top arm up. Then pull that shoulder back a little bit. Wow, you want to feel the stretch on the top side ribs. You don't want to be rounded forward to get into this pose. This is an open pose. This pose is great on the wall behind you so that you can practice getting the hips and the shoulders to touch the wall at the same time. Breathe here, really lengthen. Good job, one more strong breath. Okay, top hand to the top hip. Bend into the bottom knee. I'm going to plant that hand. This is either going to make you excited and, ooh, something fun, or you're going to hate this. So maybe there's an in-between. It's okay. It doesn't matter. So let me show you first. It's going to end up into a side plank, Vasisthasana. So as I push my hand into the earth, that front foot is coming all the way back. Does it have to? No way. You could come into supported side plank and just put the shin down. So find your happy place, right? Breathe. Good job. Wherever you're at, flip it over into plank, take a vinyasa. Stay right there and breathe. I'm just turning around so that when we end up in warrior bee, I'm still facing you. Walk the feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, monkey. Let it go. Bend into the knees, roll all the way up. Take the arms up, bring the palms together. Exhale to the heart. Turn the fingertips to the earth, bend into the knees a little bit. As you start to come down, hands will move to the outer thighs, gently pushing the legs together into your fold. Inhale halfway. As you exhale, left foot is stepping back, warrior A. So for me, this foot doesn't mind this quite as much. I'll see if I can stay here with you, but I might be in high lunge. Don't worry about it. Come on up when you're ready. Push into the outer edge of that back foot. Keep breathing. Good job, warrior B. Reverse warrior. Back to Virabhadrasana B. Sink this down a little bit deeper. Happy place. Not holding the breath. Slowly straighten out that front leg. Reach out of the left hip. Hold it here. Good job. When you're ready, Trikonasana. Bottom arm drops. Top arm reaches. Really lengthen the left side of the body. Do you think your hips and your shoulders would touch a wall if you were leaning against it? You might be surprised how often the answer is no, that's not going to happen. In which case, you should rise up out of this pose a little bit so you feel like that would be okay for your body. Okay, top hand to the top hip. Bend into the front knee. Plant that right hand. So either taking that right foot all the way down to the left for side plank, or right shin to the earth just underneath you for a supported side plank. When you're ready. Woo. Good job. Flip it on over. Flank. Vinyasa. Couple breaths here in dog. And then I'm walking the feet halfway forward, crossing one foot in front of the other, so I can peacefully sit back down. I want to take that right leg forward, tuck that left foot in, pull the right hip back. Before we come into our fold, we're going to take a twist. So right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Look at the right foot, make sure it's flexed, and then take your twist to the left. Oh, I guess I left off on chakras, didn't I? Issues with the lungs, chest, upper back, right? Especially between the shoulder blades, shoulders, that's all heart chakra. Compassion, kindness, self-love. When you get to an exhale, go ahead and release. Sit up nice and tall. Walk your way slowly into this fold. Throat chakra would be any of, well, of course, issues with the throat, sore throat, that kind of thing. But it's also any issues in the mouth, canker sores, tooth pain. And then it works its way into sinuses and ears. So physical issues there are an imbalance in the throat chakra, which deals with communication and listening. Then you move on up to the third eye, ajna, between the eyebrows. It's the energy center of intuition and looking within. So that would be imbalanced for a physical manifestation, probably like eye strain and headaches would be the most common. And then crown chakra, top of the head, is for me, I associate it more with migraines, but it also could be skin conditions like eczema. So again, if I didn't mention your particular concern, go ahead and Google it, right? So you can kind of figure out how you get yourself back on track energy-wise. Go ahead and make your way back up. Let's switch out the legs. Pull that left hip back. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Flex that front foot. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist to the right. And so you'll notice twists are actually good for the back. You might think the opposite, but I don't want you twisting from the back. We're twisting from the abdomen, and then the twist works its way up through the ribs and into the shoulders and then the head. So the back should not be taking the brunt of the work. When you get to an exhale, release, sit up nice and tall, and come on down into your fold. And then when you're ready, you'll make your way back up. We're going to take the legs into cobbler, soles of the feet together, and then place each hand just on the inside of each knee. I'm going to lift my knees up. I'm not really pushing on my legs to constrict this, but now I'm going to take my hands and gently push down. Arms relax, knees pop up, push down. So there's a little resistance on the pushing down part. You might feel like you want to lean forward. That's okay. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more. Perfect. And then let's get those legs back underneath us, coming back to embryo. And then go ahead and sit up for a moment. As I've mentioned before on some of these videos, I'm trying to avoid poses that are kind of out there, especially since I can't see anybody. I don't know if you're new to yoga. I'm going to give you a couple variations here. You do what you want to do. So, starting with the easier variation, rabbit, it looks like this. Top of the head down, interlace the fingers behind you, roll onto the very flat part of the head, take the arms up and over. So that's rabbit. It could also be here with the arms or here. So rabbit, let's call that option A, whichever variation of it you pick. But let's, I want to give you a little something to work towards. If you want to, let's try tripod. So again, it's that same flat part of the head. Plant the hands, hips lift, flat part of the head down. I want you to notice that my elbows are right over my wrists. That is the most common mistake in tripod. The hands are up here, and you'll notice I have zero support. I need to slide my hands back, and now it's like I have two shells on, one on each side. So if you've never done tripod before, tuck the toes, lift the hips. You could stay right here and just feel the blood rushing to your head. Your next step would be, okay, one arm on top of one leg, and you could stay here or bring both in. So it's totally up to you. You decide which pose you want to be in. If you have a headstand practice and you want to go straight up, go ahead. But if you don't have a headstand practice and you've never done it before, please don't make this the first time you try it. I'd rather you be against your wall and not trying to, keep up with the pace of the sequence. So you pick rabbit or tripod, go. Deep inhale. Slowly let go of the breath. If you're in rabbit and your arms are up behind you, go ahead and untangle the fingers, release the hands to the earth. And then if you're in tripod, let's slowly come down, everybody ending up in child's pose. While you're hanging out there, let me share another quote with you I found. It's by Karl Marx. He said, "The only antidote to mental suffering is physical pain." Think about that. The only antidote to mental suffering is physical pain. Wow. Makes perfect sense, especially if you're familiar with, energy healing or the energy world or how physical pain manifests. I already told you that physical pain first comes from an imbalance in the energy field, right? He's really saying the same thing. But think about those words. Your mental suffering. What are you going through right now? Like what struggles, what have you been putting off, not wanting to contend with? What sadness do you hold, discontent? Oftentimes I think, I can say that it's an opinion, not based in fact. I think oftentimes we recognize where there's discontent in our life, but we choose just to let it stay. We're okay with the comfort zone of where we are, and that's fine, right? But think about that quote. Mental suffering It has to turn into physical pain to get your attention. The same thing with an energy imbalance. How would you know it's there? It has to turn into something that you are going to recognize, something that is going to grab your attention. So that is really why I want you to pay attention to what is going on in your body. It doesn't have to be pain. It could be tightness. It could be, it could be something you're used to, but it's a flare up. Why? Why has it flared up? So start asking questions. Start attributing what's actually going on to create the physical stuff. I love that quote. Maybe you'll see me pop it up on Facebook later. Who knows? All right, take a deep breath. Go ahead, make your way back up into table. Downward facing dog. Big inhale. Exhale, plank. Pause here for an inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Now, cobra is also good for back issues. So let's untuck the toes. And in fact, let's widen out the legs to the width of the mat. I'm going to keep my hands back, right? Slowly lift up. Let's just do a baby cobra, just a little baby. Breathe. Now, if baby cobra is tough on the low back, and I mean tough as in there's pain, you shouldn't be here. Come back down. Okay, you determine if you want to come up just a little bit more. Strengthen the breath. Good job. Come on down. Let's take the hands, slide them forward at a diagonal, and then slowly lift up. So because my arms are forward, this isn't such a huge back bend as cobra could be if we came all the way up, right? Play around here, find some movement, some sway. My back already feels a ton better than when we first started. So, movement is very helpful to back issues. You might think it's rest and not moving, but actually that would be counterintuitive. You need to start strengthening the muscles and the core muscle to help out the back. What's my excuse, you ask? It's been a week of Dunkin' Donuts and peanut M&Ms. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, big inhale here. Exhale, come on down. Push back up into table. Take that right foot, sweep it forward, find your low lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift that back leg, breathe. Inhale the right arm up, exhale it to the mat. It's just touching, grazing. Inhale the right arm up, exhale to the mat. Inhale up, hold it here. Good job. Lock into place. What do I mean by that? Drag the feet towards each other. Find your balance. You are lifting up, left hand reaching forward, right hand reaching behind you. Keep breathing. Good job. Cartwheel the hands back down. Step back to dog. Walk it out. When you're ready, step that right foot forward. Set the back knee down first to find our low lunge. We're staying here for a couple of breaths. I think the word that catches me the most in that Karl Marx quote is that he says, physical pain is the antidote to mental suffering. The antidote. Okay, tuck the back toes, lift that back thigh, hold it here. This time I want you to just slowly pull the hips back, straightening out that front leg. And then hips forward, set the back knee down, right knee returns to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good job. Neutral spine, left foot steps forward. Find your lunge. Just relax into it for a moment. When you're ready, tuck the back toes, simply lift that back leg, breathe. When you're ready, inhale the left arm up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Sorry about the dogs. Hold it here. Lock in, find your balance. Lift up, right arm forward, left arm back. Breathe. Good job. Cartwheel the hands to the earth. Step back to dog. Walk it out. And then again, left foot steps forward. Find your low lunge here for a moment. And then pull the hips back to straighten out that front leg. Good job. Bend into the front leg. This time the back foot's coming forward. And then I'm bending into the knees. I'm just going to sit back down on the earth. Grab onto the legs, round the spine, roll it all the way back. As you settle in and you hug the knees and lift the head and shoulders. Perfect. Release the upper body. Let go with the arms. Set the feet down and then stretch the legs out on the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Oh yeah, that feels good. Stretch it out. When you're ready, legs and arms walking to the left. Your back as well, so lift up a little bit so you can get a nice curvature to the side. And then close your eyes. And then make your way back to center. A nice straight line from toes to fingers. Stretch it out. Perfect. Take it to the other side. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Come back to center. Bring the arms down. Feel the shoulders relaxing. Let's close your eyes here for a moment. I do want you to keep in mind, if you resonate with low back or any back issue, it might not be stemming from the back. It definitely could be coming from the hips or the pelvic bones. So you need to do some assessing and trying different stretches to determine what helps, what alleviates. So while we're here and the body's letting go, we're going to switch to 3-part breathing. Start whenever you want to. It's inhaling into the abdomen, then mid-ribs, then chest. Exhale, chest, mid-ribs, abdomen. On your next inhale, fill up the lungs and then hold the breath. Cleansing exhale. If you feel like this is exactly where you want to stay for Shavasana, you are all set. If you want to readjust or grab some props or a sweatshirt or something, here's your moment to do so. And of course, you'll know when Shavasana is over when you hear my voice asking you to come back to me. So the next time a little ache or pain comes your way, stop and remember that first quote, that physical pain doesn't just show up without a reason. It's usually a sign that something needs to change. And what is it that needs to change in your world? And are you ready for that path? Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Bring some life back into the body. Move whatever wants to move. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll off to whichever side you prefer. And then find the energy to push your way back up into any seated pose, keeping the eyes gently shut. Strong breath in through the nose. Loud exhale. And then inhale, take the arms up above you, bring the palms together, and release them back home to your heart in prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.